Welcome to the Squad Games Podcast. Squad Games Podcast.
Why did you eat so much ice cream today, Dillon?
Yeah, tell us more about that. This is now this is hot ones.
That's Jarek's son's photo. Okay, got it.
No.
Yeah. We went to Smorgasbord LA on Sunday. If you guys have never been, it's pretty cool.
Smorgasbord LA.
So this past weekend, we me, Giacomo, Alexander Popov, and Jonathan Marquis, we took a road trip up to Merry Mayhem and up north and had a fun 34 person tournament. Of course, the West Coast champion Kellen Foster took home the W. And
Let's go, Cal team.
Him and his novitiates came through and wrecked the field because he's proving how utterly busted they are, even though not everyone agrees. He beat me, so I can't say that they're not good. In all seriousness, novitiates are a very good team, and he deserved. He had a deserved win. I believe I went 6-1 at that event, and I only lost to Kellen.
Very good.
Damn, Papa.
I beat Jimmy Kelly. I beat Jonathan, who were both in the top 8. Those were my 3 matches, and I lost to Kellen. Day 1 also won all my matches. Giacomo, how'd you do?
I won exactly 1 game. Exactly one, yes. Because technically, day 2, if you didn't top 8, you go to narrative. And narrative, you don't really win. The whole goal was to get gifts.
Like gifts, like GIF?
GIFTS.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
I didn't know if we were going for
Swift,
digital awards or something, you know?
Yes, so you got gifts on the second day, which were raffle tickets.
I'm losing right away. I want some gifts.
Yeah, you're getting raffle tickets. In fact, Mr. Jonathan was really upset that I was making fun of him, and I wasn't telling him what the narrative was because he was in top 8. So he didn't get to experience the narrative.
He did. Giacomo was like, fuck you, Jonathan. You did the top 8.
And then I won Best Painted for Caspian.
Hell yes.
Yes. And I learned, I want to shout out a player who taught me a good amount of stuff about Cassican, who also beat my face at the same time. That is a Bats member. His name is Christian. Yes, he's newish, and he's doing pretty well. I think he had told me it was about 6 months that he's been playing now.
Hell wow. He's a baby bat.
Yeah, he's a baby bat, and he was the only bat in top 8.
Dang.
Yeah.
Christian killed it. Christian's also a great guy.
Oh yeah.
So the event was ran by Chris Bakke and John Boudoir and Garrett Rayner, and I believe Shea as well. So they had a couple of TOs, a couple of people helping out. They had this really cool little bounty system for charity, and they raised $320 for charity day 1. And you spent $5, and you would get a bounty, and you got to go give it to somebody and put it on somebody's miniature. And if that miniature died in that match or any of the matches that day, the person who killed them would get all the bounties on that miniature. And if you kept that model alive for all 3 games, you get the bounties. My demo man had a total of 8 bounties on him throughout the day.
Wow.
And I lost all of them. The only one I got to keep was one of my spotter, because Carl Weathers, he's fought the Predator. He fought Dolph Lundgren. He lost to Dolph Lundgren, but no one there was as scary as Dolph Lundgren. Let's be honest. Dolph Lundgren's a beast.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. He's a great dude in real life too. So, but it was a good time. Really fun. Yeah, it's a 5-hour trip up, 5-hour trip back. It's actually more like 6 hours up.
Yep, with detours. Yeah.
So we have another great artist with us on the podcast today, the Squad Games podcast. Dillon Eves.
Hey.
Dillon, introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, you guys are way too kind. My name's Dillon Eves. I work and own a tattoo shop called Charnel House Tattoo here in Toluca Lake. And I love me some hobby. I love me some Kill Team.
Yeah.
I love me some Warhammer. And all things pop culture and nerdy, I try and include in my tattooing as well. So
I could tell. I'm looking at your website.
yeah.
Website dope, artist dope, miniature painter dope, guy is
thank you.
dope. Your guys is you and your team Backstabbeth
Yeah.
won best sportsmanship at our All Valley Team Tournament year one. Was that your first introduction to squad games?
Yeah, that was my first tournament ever, as far as kill team or miniatures, actually.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a great introduction.
Hell yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating that how did you hear about the events and stuff, and who was your gateway?
Abel was my gateway.
I love Abel.
Yeah, he got me into kill team and was like, "Hey, you should come hang out with us and play the ATTV." And I was like, "Yes, I should."
So how did you meet Abel?
I met Abel on Discord, and I got into Discord because I went to Next Gen Games,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Hey, you play locally?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I've never really played. I just like collect and paint." They're like, "You should get on Discord." I'm like, "What is it?" And I tumbled down that rabbit hole, and here I am.
Chinese social media app, of the year.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's great. I use Discord all the time. Another question for you is, what was your actual gateway, your very first time getting into the hobby?
Ooh. So as a kid, I remember the days of buying a blister pack, a GW blister pack, when they had the foam like in the back, and the models were like pewter.
Uh-huh.
I remember you'd have to you'd paint them up. You'd
Sometimes
get one space marine.
One space marine that's a special weapon. Sometimes you get it with plastic. Yeah.
Exactly. So I collected them as a kid because I thought they were super cool. And then as I grew up, I kept Warhammer in the back of my head, but really, I think like a lot of people, COVID was it hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, I want to get back into this, and I want to paint, and I want a hobby.
How long have you been doing tattooing for?
So 14 years now.
14. That's fantastic.
That's quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's like your whole adult life almost. No?
Almost a third of my life I've been tattooing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
So where did you apprentice at?
So I apprenticed under a guy, his name is Jeremy Swan, and he owns a shop in Silver Lake called Broken Art Tattoo.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see where people start from, whether it's doing hobbies or the things that they do for work.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point something out. When I first met you at the All Valley Team Tournament, I was like, I wonder what this guy's vibe is. Then you spoke, and I was like, he's cool as fuck. Just like literally the way you spoke, immediately the demeanor was down. It was okay. We were building a board, and I remember he's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it can look a little intimidating, but it's all sunshine and hearts under here.
You have so many good tattoos too. Just looking through your Instagram page. I think one of my favorite. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I like the one on the website where it's the boat in the bottle.
The old school ghost pirate ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my favorite one.
So I don't know if this is put to skin, but my favorite art that I found was Anguis S. Sanguinis. It's a knife cutting through a snake, and the snake.
Yeah. That's actually not a tattoo yet.
Yeah, it's sick as fuck.
Thank you.
All right, who's getting it on them?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you also won best singular model painted for the forged brush at the AVTT
2020.
Yeah, I was totally blown away by that one.
Yeah, and you started in COVID, so around 2020. So you've only really been painting for, 3-ish years.
Yeah, as far as miniatures, yeah.
just talented boy, talented man.
Thank you. I have a little bit of a leg up just because I make art every day.
Absolutely. So, like, has painting miniatures changed any way that you do any kind of tattooing, or vice versa?
So much so.
Really?
Yeah. So I battle damage everything now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even in a tattoo, I'm like, okay, what textures can I add to this, or like what can I do to make this interesting instead of just like a flat static image?
Okay.
That's sick.
And
Okay.
it shows.
Yeah, you had a Black Templar. I think it was at a champion or something for your entry, and it was just weathered so beautifully and done so well. You did really well last year too with I think you brought Death Guard. Your Death Guard.
Yeah. My very first kill team.
Mm-hmm.
My slow boys.
Yeah, your slow boys. They were they're even slower nowadays.
Oh my god.
Compared to everything else. Yeah. So has your color theory changed at all between doing tattoos, or how is it different? How is the skin medium different than like painting on a miniature? Like when I was, it was really difficult for me to go from painting on a miniature to painting on a flat canvas. Just as an artist, right?
Yeah.
How has, coming from more, I guess it's not super flat, but more of a flat surface coming to the 3D area.
Mm-hmm. So like the 2D aspect of tattooing to the 3D aspect of modeling. It's been very interesting because you have to think about light sources from all different directions and angles instead of just the one light source that you usually have when you do 2D art.
Okay.
And then getting to work with like OSL too has been really cool and fun and different.
That's exciting.
That's also something I'm trying to bring into my tattooing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to create like cool little spots of interest.
That's sick.
Yeah. But definitely learning like, oh, there's a back to this or a side to this or an underneath to this has been really interesting and kind of fun to explore that I don't really get to do with what I do every day.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because, I watched all the seasons of Ink Masters, so I'm obviously an expert at tattooing and judging. I really enjoy looking through your website, your X-wing tattoo, and your astronaut. This astronaut one is super interesting. It almost looks like he's fading into like broken glass, and has like you can see the galaxy in his visor and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was the inspiration or the thought process behind that?
Usually clients will like just kind of come in with an idea and we'll explore that concept together.
Okay.
So if I recall for that one, it was more so like, hey, I want an astronaut. I'm like, well, hear me out. What if we did this and that? Or, I try and bring a different concept or help them along with their idea instead of just being like, cool, astronaut, here's an astronaut.
Okay.
And it just those little touches I think are what makes a tattoo unique and interesting. Like having the galaxy reflected in the visor. It would be like that if you were in space,
Absolutely.
Do you find yourself taking that kind of inspiration when you paint stuff, going like, okay, I got it to somewhere I like, but what if I did this and then took it like that?
Yeah. So especially with miniature painting, I'll like get obsessive about an idea and I'll have to see it through. And I'm like, okay, it has to be like this until I get that hobby butterfly notion. I'm like, oh, new idea. Maybe I should check that out. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So something else that's very interesting is you do a lot of conversions as well.
So much. That's where I get my enjoyment a lot from the hobby, is putting down a model that's unique to anyone else's.
I think you probably get that from your tattooing. Like, how has is the creative process similar? Like do you do like sketch out your guys first, or you just start chopping away and start sculpting? Because you ran some models this year. I believe they were werewolves.
Yeah, I had a
Elf?
werewolf on the team, and then I had they were all vampires for Hand of the Archon.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'll usually start out with like a base where I'm like, cool, these are good bodies or these are good parts for this, and then I'll just kind of like collect little bits here and there, or ask friends. I'm like, hey, can I rummage your bits box, or vice versa? And then I'll just start. It's almost like sculpting, where I'm like, that's a cool bit. That's a cool bit. I want to use that. And I just kind of throw it together.
So is there something like special about like, so when you're sculpting and adding things to miniatures, that's like an additive artistic feature, different type of art than like tattooing. And tattooing is an additive art, I guess, as well, because you're adding ink to skin.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is a little more free flow.
Free flow? Okay.
Yeah. As opposed to like tattoos are usually pretty methodical. Mm-hmm. Like I have my design, I have everything. Maybe I'll add some background elements that I, kind of just add in on the fly.
Yeah.
But when I convert or sculpt with Milliput, it's just all organic. You guys have probably heard the term flow state.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that happens to me when I paint miniatures or convert. We all kind of enter that little flow state, even if we're painting for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. So what would you say your tattoo art style is, like, overall, or what is your specialty in?
I would say I try and keep myself flexible as far as being able to do everything. Mm-hmm. But my primary focus would be in, you would call it like neo-traditional. Mm-hmm. So you'll have some bold lines, but they'll be broken up with a lot of details, or like lines in color, or different variances and line weight, which is what makes it different from a like quote unquote traditional tattoo, which will just be like one line weight throughout the whole thing.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So for the listeners that don't know, Dillon made the art for LVO this year, and all of our t-shirts.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And our sweatshirts, and he did a great job. And I was like, "Oh, this is like an American. It looks like an American tradition." And no, it's not. It's probably a neo-traditional. Now that you've explained it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
I'm just an idiot.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You watched all the Ink Master.
Yeah, you
remember. Are an Ink Master.
Yeah, it's totally American traditional. Dillon, get it right, my guy.
My bad. But yeah, thank you so much for commissioning me to make the art for LVO. It's a huge honor for me, and I had so much fun doing it. And I hope you guys enjoy wearing the cool merch. You should definitely get it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
link in the description.
Link in the description. Plug.
It's only on sale
drop
until January 2nd. That is when we commission the order, and then we're going to get it all right before LVO. We're going to take all the orders to LVO, and then after LVO, we'll ship out anyone who purchased it that couldn't make it to the event. So if you want to help support Squad Games, help support Dillon.
Hey,
help support.
Get yourself a comfy hoodie.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. So like, how do people get a hold of you for Charnel? Like, if they want to get a dope ass tattoo.
So on the website, charnelhousetattoo.com, there is a little contact form. Just fill out that little form, and I email you back within, I don't know, 1 to 2 days. I'm pretty quick.
Radical.
Nice. So moving on to Kill Team, what made you choose Kill Team over like 40K, AOS, and all these other kind of these miniature big games? Yeah, miniature games.
Obviously, the low model count is very tempting because I'm a hobby Cinderella. Like, I gotta find that perfect glass slipper. So I'd like to collect multiple teams and just try them out. I'm like, they're cool. Like, that's how I learn how they play and how to play against them is I collect them.
Who are you
But
collecting these days?
Right now, it's kind of a secret, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
So I converted up some Grotan.
Grotan?
They're Grot Votan.
Oh, that's
I love
cool.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were going to go with the Groot aspect.
Ooh.
I heard gross. So I thought they were going to be like regular size.
No, they're squatty boys.
Oh, that's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. They were super fun to convert up. So I just started painting them.
All right.
All right. Do you have a place that is like where you have your miniatures themselves on Instagram, or is it?
Yeah. So my handle is Fall on Your Brush.
Fall on your brush. I know.
Same as your Discord.
Yeah. Same as my Discord.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
There it is.
There it
yes,
is.
I'm following you. That totally makes sense.
I am also.
Yeah.
We're currently pausing to look at all of his art. So he does. Okay, you don't have your championship winning one up there yet, do you?
Not yet. Yeah,
Not
I gotta pull out all my photo stuff and take some real nice photos of that one because I'm super proud of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
But
but
the Maggot King guy, he picked up a trophy at AVTT.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Yeah, he's right as hell.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely brilliant models. Yeah, like people who put so much work and artistry into stuff is just like it's a cherishing thing for people that have been in the hobby for a really long time. Like I've been doing this since to the year 2000, and I think the longer that you're in the hobby, the more you get into the painting and hobby side of it, because like when I was little and young, like I didn't give two shits if I painted them right. Like I was like, I'm going to paint these Eldar 3 different ways because I have enough to make 3 different kinds of Eldar teams because I have a lot of models. 5. So, I was 10. Okay. And then like as time grew and went on, like I learned more, airbrushing wasn't really big back then, or it was, but there was just like the White Dwarf, and a 10-year-old. I don't want to fucking read. I just want to play the game.
It's enough to read the rules, man.
If so that.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're painting, I know that you said you edge chip and do a lot of weathering and stuff. Is there any like other special tools that you use? What brushes do you use?
Oh man, you guys are gonna laugh. I use the cheapest brushes. So my local art store has these like student or like university line of brushes. I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head. I think they're Winsor Newton.
Really?
But they're like, they're made for like, students who don't have a lot of money. And they're great brushes. Like, and they're cheap enough that like, as soon as it loses its tip, I'm like, cool, that's a junk brush now.
Are they synthetics? They gotta be, right?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. That makes sense for that kind of style. Yeah. See, that's cool. That's there's another artist, I forget his last name, who does the same thing. Just buys a big old pack, and once they're not sharp, throw that shit away. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you don't need like sable brushes. They're nice. Don't get me wrong. Like, for fine detail for sure. But yeah, you don't need the most expensive stuff to hobby.
You absolutely don't. Yeah.
We want to be sold that we do, but we don't.
We also want to be told that like if we buy the most expensive brush,
that we're going to have the most amazing model.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It has nothing to do with either eye coordination, control, and color theory. No, it has to do with the tool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think like sometimes a nice brush can help, but then you might just destroy it if you don't know how to take care of it, right? So with experience comes better tools, and with more tools comes more experience, and it's kind of like a two-way street. Do you use any special like sculpting tools when you're doing converting and stuff, or do you just like smash it together with super glue?
No. I don't know. I got all sorts of little knickknacks. My fiance is a makeup artist, so she like hands me down all this stuff. She's like, "Here, you can use these sponges for that." I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah,
yeah!"
And I think a lot of the hobby community is starting to realize, like, oh yeah, we should look at like the makeup section in Target. There's so much good stuff there.
Yeah.
As far as like actually sculpting, I picked up like a cheap set of tools. I think it came to like $10 on Amazon, and they're just like little silicone tools that you can like smooth out edges with and stuff like that. So, and definitely milliput, like standard milliput. They have like a fine one. Do not get that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why so?
The fine one, it like deteriorates like sand when you try and work with it.
Oh, so then what would you use the fine one for?
I honestly don't know. I think it's more for like fine arts or pottery. I have no clue.
Yeah, so I use milliput. Do you also use green stuff?
I'm exclusively milliput now because I've watched so many tutorials on like YouTube, and not a lot of people use green stuff. It's great for certain things, but I find it gets like tacky way too fast, and you have a little bit more of a shelf life with the milliput.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Epoxy putties are also really good.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. It's like a milliput, but you get them in a lot bigger things, but it takes 24 hours to cure compared to, and they have like I think it has like a sculpting life of like 4 to 6 hours. And like the longer it goes, the harder it gets. But that material, those kind of like the milliput type of materials are really good as well, because then you can sand it. You can sand it with a higher grit stuff. And
yeah. You can make anything. It's ridiculous. Like I watched some hobby shout out, Travarian.
I love Travarian.
Oh my God, man. He just, if you don't know about him, please follow him. He's going to up your hobby game like crazy.
I think my wife followed his grim dark Blood Angels color scheme. Yeah. And I don't understand why he uses like some of the colors he does for like, so it's really interesting. He uses like this like shadow gray color from Reaper Miniatures, and then he adds some Sunbright's flesh tone to it to like brighten it. And it's just like a weird color to add to it. But I'm also fucking colorblind, so sometimes I just follow what people say. Yeah. But yeah, I had to buy a bunch of really interesting paints that I've never used before, because he uses like really interesting color theory to modify and change different colors. So yeah. He's a great artist.
Oh my God, he's amazing.
Do you have any other any artists that you follow on YouTube that have taught you a lot?
Maverick. Everybody loves Maverick. He's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I learned a lot of my stuff from Luke's APS. It's unfortunate that his gone now.
Yeah,
it hurts my soul.
Right.
Yeah. But Tarvarian, I think, is like him and Juan Hidalgo are my two like go-tos for like learning new things.
No, seriously.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Juan Hidalgo?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Dude's sick. What about you, G? Do you have a favorite YouTube artist that you like going and seeing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got Juan Hidalgo. I always like his anti-stance on blue.
What?
That's his whole joke. Blue sucks. And then I think blue's fine, but like I don't really paint that much things in blue, so I guess, not since I was 13 and played Ultramarines.
I think it depends on the blue.
Blue's my favorite color. It's because I can see it.
Dang, dude.
Makes sense.
Dang, blue's the worst, I guess. Nah, I like blue. I like blue. And I'm also a fan of a bunch of the Spaniards. Why, like Jose da Vinci's a really good one. You know, all his stuff's it's in English, but with subtitles.
Mhm.
And he's fun to watch. I learned a lot of techniques from the Spaniards out there. You know, they got a lot going on there
Oh yeah.
with their blends.
Yeah. I also really like Rogue Miniatures, I believe it's called.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah, she's awesome.
With Sugden, Louise Sugden,
Yep.
I think is her name,
Mhm.
right?
Her and Midwinter Minis. Midwinter Minis I don't learn tons from, but he has great tutorials. As a creator, he is an amazing person to watch, in my opinion. And he has some really interesting interesting schemes that you're like, I wouldn't have put that on a Necron. You know?
Yep.
And then they look great, and you're like, that's creative. I love it.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Oh, yes.
Yes, there is a tutorial that Dillon has made that somebody we both know has used.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Alex Popov has used your tutorial on Black.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and he would
Which is an adaptation of Trevelyan. Like, I'm not going to claim that.
adaptation completely new. That's yours.
I guess, yeah.
So yeah, there you go. You know, even Dillon out here making stuff happen.
Oh
So-
yeah. You
so-
can learn so much.
So Alex actually told us something interesting. He said that you are the master of gummy bears, and you know the best gummy bears on the planet.
Yes.
And to everyone on our podcast, do you want to reveal the best gummy bears?
Okay, they're from a company called Albanese, Albanese candy. Albanese gummy bears.
That's the first result when you type it into.
Oh yeah, they're like god tier gummy bears.
Now, are these the ones?
I have these at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have these at work. I remember they're in our jar. Oh my God, that's what these are.
Are these the ones that are the organic one? Because he said there's another kind that are like this organic, like super. Is these them?
They make like an all natural one. Like they have different like parts of their line,
the
right?
natural flavors right here.
Natural flavors, but it's like
Yeah.
super citric. It's like, it's a little heavy.
Those were Alex's favorites.
Dang, you can buy a 5-pound bulk for $24 right now.
Dude,
Link is not in the
buy
description.
it. Worth it.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's fascinating. The things you learn, you know, when you're growing up, you're like, Alex, where do you get all these great gummy bears from? He's like, oh, Dillon told me. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we're about to talk to Dillon.
Yeah. Now
He's like-
we don't play a game without him now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like his trademark too. I didn't know he
Yeah.
jacked it from you.
yeah, because at AVTT I brought like snacks and like gummy bears were one of the things. I'm like, it was the first time I really got to hang out with Alex. I'm like, you want some gummy bears? And then I like broke that hard Russian exterior. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alex is the homie, man.
Oh, he's so cool.
Homie. Yeah, it's fascinating. Do you find that bringing snacks for your opponents helps with sportsmanship? Because this seems to be a backstab of special now.
Ooh, okay. They're always on offer, but not everybody takes. All right, so
Okay.
I can't claim that's why we won best sportsmanship.
Okay.
But who doesn't like a snack?
That's true.
And
So
you know what? Some of these games are grueling, man. Like my blood sugar gets low, and I'm like, wish I had some sugar right now.
So you guys didn't take home the sportsmanship award this year. It went to the Pirates.
We did not. They were so worthy. They were so worthy.
Yeah, you guys will have to battle it back next year, you know?
Yeah, for sure. They were so fun.
I'm sad.
I'm glad they're coming back. They got golden ticket for this next time.
They did.
Goes to show you kids, sportsmanship has benefits.
It pays eventually.
Just
It
being a
does.
cool person goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
So looking at the stuff through your shop, you have a scythe on the wall, which is dope as fuck. What is
Mortarian up in the house.
Okay, that answers my question.
Oh, you were going to ask my favorite Primarch?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it changes like the seasons for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but definitely Chaos aligned.
Okay.
Chaos aligned. Okay.
Yeah, right now I'm about Angron, Angry Man.
Angry
Okay.
Man.
I don't blame you on that. I think he's probably, is he my favorite Fallen Primarch?
He's got a lot of depth to him, despite
Being Angry Man.
being angry.
Yeah, his story's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Karn novel, I think Betrayer goes pretty into depth with him, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I will probably have to say that would also probably be my favorite because I like Corn,
Yeah,
right? And the model's also beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah, when that model released, I was like, no way. I mean, they're all the Demon Primarchs are so good. They're
Yeah, they
so good. I can't wait for Fulgrim.
Mm-hmm.
Though we kind of pseudo got one, right?
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
that you can't use in 40K very
yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
Yeah, that one is beautiful. The Forge World one, though,
Oh my god.
It looks like a
Phenomenal.
nightmare to put together. I think Play on Tabletop put them together and painted them and stuff, and it just, I was like, that's not
That's not for me.
that resin kit. I've done resin before, and that's just it's too much for me.
Yeah, when resin is that big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a pain.
I have
Yeah.
a Titan, and I didn't clean it correctly the first time I primed it, so I had to strip it all.
No,
I could only imagine if you failed to clean every bit of that Fulgrim model correctly.
Oh yeah, and you're bound to miss something.
And then you would have to strip the whole thing again. And in the stripping process, sometimes it can loosen the super glue, and then like you just like hate your life. And you sit on your shelf for the next 8 years and
Yeah.
don't touch it. Sorry, Titan.
See, that's where Games Workshop maybe got a little too ambitious, or with the designers were like, let's make the craziest looking model ever, but then
Yeah.
forgot to make it functional so you can actually use it as a game piece.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also the price tag of what, 400 USD.
It's I'd rather just get a tattoo from Charnel House, you know?
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
there you go.
Yeah. Get your favorite Primarch, please.
Uh-huh.
Hey, that'd be a
More.
dope series if you did that.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Jacobo, like, why are you just like, this is amazing. This is that's an amazing thing. That'll
Yeah.
be amazing.
All right, I know what I'm doing. I'm drawing all the Primarchs.
And you just got to find a single quote to put in those little sashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That'd be sick. So moving on to a little bit more kill team based stuff.
Yes. Yes.
We are kill team starved currently. Games Workshop has given us Justinian in the past 7 months. And on Sunday, this week, they decided to say like, hey, the next kill team is going to have a 3-week release window, pre-orders. You're going to order it on December 23rd, which means most people's NDAs should be up by then, so people can start talking about it, about the rules. So we should, as a kill team community, have the rules for the Blades of Cain and the Space Marine Scouts on December 23rd, just in time for Christmas. But we have to wait until January 13th for the models.
Oof.
Yeah, it's going to suck because typically that's past the deadline for LVO, which means typically they would not be allowed at LVO. Now, the one thing that I am discussing and me, G, and Saya are talking about is whether or not we should allow the team for LVO, because we're going to have the rules a month in advance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people can, they can convert, they can buy them, they can, paint them as much as they could, because we don't want to stop the stuff. But I think we're going to wait until we see the rules to make that decision for LVO, because we don't want another instance of cults happening again. Of course, I don't think anyone realized how big of of a deal Colts was until they won like 2 golden tickets like back to back, and people are like, "Whoa, this team just came out. It's supposed to be hard." Yeah. So we're debating about it. We're thinking about it. So if anyone has that question, hopefully I answered you there. You're just gonna have to wait and find out. Have a backup.
Have a backup for your backup.
Exactly. So another thing that we haven't gotten is Elliot. In the beginning of October, the designer for Kill Team said that we were going to get a balanced data slate at the beginning of December or at the end of November. I think that we're very much near the end of the beginning of December, if not in the middle of December already, because we are.
Yeah, we're at least in the third now, 11, man. If you divide that by 3, we're right there.
Yeah. So I think that we should probably go over our balanced data slate, hopes and dreams, what we think should get possibly buffed, what we think that, as just Kill Team content creators and TOs and players
artists and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. See what we think as the average Joe compared to what Games Workshop thinks, because knowing them, they're just gonna, let the Colts of Summer rise again. Hopefully not.
I like that. Colts of Summer. It sounds very.
That's a band right now. That's a band name. Somebody make that.
So we have the novitiates up on the list. Do you guys think that novitiates should get any sort of buffs or nerfs?
Maybe have something that just hits a little harder.
What do you mean?
Their weapons aren't bad. They're pretty good. The pistols having infinite range and being able to up the pistol's damage. Yeah.
You're going to spend that CP.
You're going to spend that CP. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
so worth it.
Like,
trust me, I know you can literally take the plasma pistol and shoot it across the map. Yeah.
Yeah. Infinite range.
Ask me how I know, Kellen. Okay.
He's listening after he does his finals. Yeah, I think maybe just have like something with a bit more stopping power. I still think the team is strong, but I don't know. When I've played against them, I always seem to survive. So I don't know. It could just be because I'm playing against them with Marines, so like I can take the hit and be fine.
So, in my opinion, I think novitiates are a very well balanced team. I don't think that they need any more, in my opinion, any more buffs or any more nerfs. I think that they're in a really good spot. I think in good hands, they're really good. I personally think they're going to struggle hard into Field War. I know that a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're going to be really good. They're this, they're that." I was like, I mean, a guardsman can beat them in close combat. Yeah. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
I beat one of them to death with fists. It was amazing.
You punched a nun?
I did, and I loved every second of it.
Well, she was a novitiate, not a nun yet. She didn't join the cloth.
That's true. So I definitely think they still have weaknesses, and I think that they're definitely you can play through them and stuff like that. I think the biggest power of novitiates is the fact that people still don't know how to play into them. And they still have the best dice fixing in the game. So I think if we changed anything about the team would become
too
overpowered
strong
once again.
I agree.
Because I can't tell you how many times I got Kellen down to, I think there's 3 or 4 models down to just 1 wound, and then he was able to heal them, and then he had his medic save 3 different models throughout the game. So like, and him being able to be like, "Oh, that's a crit. I'm just going to spend 2 faith points, and now it's a crit save." You know what I mean? And it's just like, "Oh, I guess my las gun just does 2 damage instead of 3 damage, and now your nun's alive on 1." You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that there are a lot of good things about novitiates, and I think that, they will struggle into certain teams. But I guess if they win LVO, I'll eat my words.
Better write them down so you can chew them.
I know. I mean, I think that, like, depending on what gets nerfed in the balanced data slate, they easily could, because they are an amazing team. I just don't know currently. They don't need anything. If they do, I think they're going to get busted. What about you, Dillon? What do you think?
I think you made a good point. They're very like player skill dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's played a lot with them and knows the ins and outs is just going to play really good. And dice manipulation is so strong. It's always strong.
Yeah, it's one of the best mechanics you can have in like any game.
In any game. So
yeah, and it's not even like they could spend two command points and just like make a miss a hit, or like whatever they do. They pray to the Emperor and the Emperor answers.
Exactly.
I taught Kellen too many good things about the Emperor, and he's a full convert now.
Oh yeah.
So we'll move to Compendium. I think that Compendium is just gonna continue to rot. What about you guys? You guys have any predictions about it?
Die.
It's an appendage waiting to be cut off.
It's infected. Get rid of it.
It's got gangrene.
There you go. It's a death tooth. Get it fixed.
My Death Guard are there, so they're just gonna.
Like, I'm all a fan of custodes. I like running the 4 or the 2 and the 5 sisters, but it's gotta go.
Yeah.
And that just means, bespoke teams for those because they're probably going to get them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I don't think Talons are going to get one.
Not Talons, but, like Grey Knights, perhaps Death Watch, very specifically Death Watch. Because that
would be amazing. Want to wait another 3 years for another kill team, Giacomo?
If that's what I have to do.
I don't think they're going to get anything either. For the upcoming data slate. I just don't.
I mean, demons should get an army. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like a little secret pack of demons.
I could see them doing another white dwarf for each one of these, just to kind of like.
Here you go.
Float along. Yeah. Here's my conspiracy, my tin hat thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think a lot of these teams are just going to kind of fall to the wayside, and Kill Team's really going to be about what you can specifically get Kill Team box wise.
Fair enough. Yeah, I believe that as well.
Yeah.
Moving to Hunterclade, I'm following the list on Wahapedia going down.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm going to open it up and do the same.
Yeah, so Hunterclade, do you guys think that they need anything?
Yeah, actually, I was playing against them this weekend, and what I found to be their issue is they don't really have blast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, oh man, they literally can't pick on me because I could just kind of like be cool close to each other. I get combat support. I don't have to worry about being spread out. Like if they had that, I think they might be able to do a little better into horde teams. And Casterkin aren't hordes, but like when you start getting to more numbers, but like 8 and higher, where everyone starts getting really close to each other.
Are you saying that they want to add another operative with a blast gun or with like a grenade or something?
That's a great. I think they just need to have something with blast, perhaps, because a lot of the other rules pretty awesome. Like I had no issue with those.
I forgot who it was, but somebody said give them frags and they'll be fine.
Do they not have frag grenades?
I don't believe so.
Oh man. Well, okay. Give them an equivalent of something that they would carry that's not frag, but like it's a frag. But call it.
Get rid of all the damn grenades and just make a universal list. Stop with these like this guy has EMP grenades. This guy has this. So it's just a frag, right? Okay.
I mean, for the most part, it is the same thing. Like the frag grenade is usually the exact same on each profile, but there have been definitely like it's functionally the same thing, but they call it something else. But I get what you mean. Rules. I get what you mean. Having universal equipments. That might get a little
40K.
Yeah, but that might get a little weird because 40K doesn't do equipments. It's like still your faction gets it. They do special rules. That's different. But equipment now becomes a part of the game. Like it almost becomes an operative in a way because you're upgrading an operative to have this ability now.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at 10th edition, I would love to see universal equipment for Kill Team, but that's not going to happen in a balanced data slate.
No, it's going to be narrative only. Narrative has that kind of stuff.
How about you, Dillon?
I think they're in a decent spot. I think you're right with the blast. They're fun to play against. I've had nothing but a good time playing against them. So
yeah, I definitely think that Hunterclade. I would be hesitant to do anything to Hunterclade if other teams are getting nerfed. Because once ruled the meta. And
Yeah.
in fact, they ruled the meta so much in the last World Championships of Warhammer, even though it wasn't called that, that I believe out of the 8 players that took them, 5 took them. And yeah, that was not healthy for the game because everyone thought they were overpowered. So I think any kind of a buff to the team outside of maybe a grenade or something like that would be a mistake. Star Striders, what do you guys think about them? They showed up quite a bit at the Worlds.
I think they're fine. I don't really have an issue with them. I mean, obviously,
that damn starship, man.
yeah. I mean, like
Nerf the
I was going to
shit out of
mention,
that.
yeah, like
please.
that kind of kills my elites, but like otherwise, I think they're fine. Otherwise, they're what it is.
I think I was told I have never fought Star Striders. I believe someone told me
Just make it 4+ again to hit instead of 3.
Yeah, 4+, but also I believe you're allowed to call the fucking gun down when you've already activated, or at least that's what someone told me. And you think that me being a TO would know, but Star Striders are not taken very often.
There's a lot of rules in this game, man. We can know a lot of it, and sometimes we got to refer to books.
Right.
Yeah, it says when you would activate a ready friendly operative, you can use this asset instead. So yeah, the person has to be okay. So maybe,
What if they did this? What if they made it a 4+ to hit, and you have to use one of your operatives? So instead of their activation, you're turning it into the support asset instead. So they're calling it in, and that's their activation.
Almost like a commsman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a specific dude does it.
Yeah, it could be like the leader of the anyone who's a rogue trader, or the leader of the what are they called? The armsmen. That'd be like the only people you could have it do. I think that could be fine.
With a 3-up, anyone else would be a 4-up or something like that.
Yeah, like specifically your leader is going to be the 4-up, and then everyone else will be the 3-up, and then everyone else will be a 4-up.
So what you're telling me is that the leader has an Android and everyone else has an Apple?
Sure.
The opposite.
Whatever, Hey, phone's a phone.
Okay, fair enough.
And the dog obviously can't, unfortunately.
Make the dog the leader.
Yeah,
every kill team, the dog should be the leader.
Oh, maybe the Death Cult Assassin can't do it either, because I feel like would they have that? Would they have access to that?
Mm-hmm. So we all kind of want like a small nerf for Star Striders, or at least I do.
They're pretty good.
They're a cool team, though. Like outside of I don't really like the main character that much. Like you can make your own, but like everyone else, I think it's kind of fun. This is one of those teams, kind of like Inquisition, where you can have a good time just making these are my Voidsmen. This is this guy. This is my leader. Yeah. This is my dog.
Kit bash heaven.
Yeah, hey, have a cat. Why not? Who cares?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, switch it up.
So moving to Exaction Squad, do we think that they're going to get a buff or a nerf coming up for this balance phase?
Buff?
I think they're going to get a buff.
Yeah?
I don't know what though. Like I'm already pissed off when they take shields against intercession, just because I can't kill them. They can't kill me, but I can't do anything now. I'm just stuck trying to fight them. That's
kind of their only play right now.
Yeah, and I don't know, Dakota. What do you think they need?
As Games Workshop likes to do, +1 operative.
Really? I mean, that's kind of a boring fix, but all right.
I mean,
super hordy.
That's like the easiest way to fix them. Just give them one more guy, but make it so that it has to be, one of their normal randos.
Oh, like a regular warrior? Because because they take 11 now, right?
I believe they do take 11.
Yeah.
Give them 12, so they pretty much out-activate anyone, or most teams at least.
Yeah, okay. One more. I think 12 feels right, because they're already horde. Once you pass 10, you're a horde.
I mean, I don't know if that's the right call, but I just feel like that would be a GW fix. We don't actually want to put. But
they're 8 wounds though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 8 wounds.
They're 8 wounds. So in theory, if you think about it, the Cyber Mastiff is technically not really its own character, so they're sort of a standard team too. 10 man, 10 and 8, not quite elite yet. Anywhere from 8 to 10, because the Mastiff kind of works in conjunction with the Leash Master, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, that's already kind of like you're not really a horde team. I don't know. I don't think the one extra would fix it.
I don't blame you. I mean, I don't know.
It's a hard remedy. Like,
all right, check this one out. We can now arrest wound characteristics of 8 because I feel like when this team was
that's gotta be one.
100% that
when this team was released, everything had 7 wounds, and now they can't even arrest themselves.
What about 10 wounds?
Cops have to watch themselves, right? That's right.
What about 10 wounds?
I mean,
because if you do 8,
10 wounds.
Yeah, so this way
you want
can
them to arrest orcs? There's no way a cop's going to arrest an orc.
The only reason I mentioned that is because that is kind of like a team on the same level, like, like 10 operatives or less, or sorry, 10 operatives or more teams, 8 operatives or more teams. Obviously, you're not going to arrest elites. There's no way you're going to arrest a Chaos Space Marine.
I think we just found out that Giacomo actually secretly loves this team, and now
I like the concept of arresting. It's my favorite rule.
I want to like them. Like, the models are so cool.
They are really cool.
I don't see this kill team available anywhere.
Judge Dredd, like, it's just Dredd. Like,
so I think also make the sniper better because the sniper.
Oh my god, he's terrible.
Balls. Like, they have no. Like, they just have a lot of issues, right? Like, they're definitely not S tier. Hot take.
Lukewarm take.
But they're decent into a lot of different. They are decent into some teams, but they still get smacked around by like Intercession and other teams, right? So, maybe 2 guys can like arrest like a 10 model or something like that, a 10 wound or something.
Okay, that could be cool. Like,
with assistance, like there's it takes 2 cops to wrestle down an orc, put him in jail. Like then they got to get
beat
him. All right, fair. Okay, so I guess if we are going to say like what we would like to change with this team is possibly arresting a little bit better, maybe another model. I don't think that making the shotguns better or any. I don't know. I don't know. I don't envy the rules writing team. Inquisition. There was 3 of these guys at Worlds, and they had a 76% win rate.
Mm-hmm.
Ace even took them because Ace thought they were the best team out there. I would assume that anyone who went to Worlds would bring the best team that they thought would win. So that's why I say that.
Ooh.
Just pure speculation.
I have one fix. Give them more models in the box so I don't have to sacrifice one model for another one. I hate that you have to use the bodies. It's just like, well, okay, I guess we're never going to take the Penal Legionnaire. Not that you would. You're going to take the Death World Veteran every time. But, like, you could have the model.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really a fix. It's more of just a complaint.
It's a valid complaint.
So what would you guys do in all actuality? I definitely think this team needs a nerf. I mean, we could just be really boring and say -1 inquisitorial agent.
No, that's too boring.
That's the GW method.
Yeah.
Add a wound.
Minus a wound. No, don't do that.
They still add it as a negative. I don't know. This is like an Alec Popov, like phone a friend who wants to be a millionaire question right now.
Yeah, he'd have a better idea.
Absolutely. Because I think I've only played against these guys 0 times, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. I've played against them a few times, but
what do you think then? Like, what do you think is good against them?
I don't know. The hard stop on your ploys is such a brutal rule. It's such a good rule.
Should it be +1 on that?
Yeah, that might be a little more balanced.
1 + 1 or something like that.
Yeah.
That rule is
or to like cap it somehow.
That's absolute authority, right?
Absolute authority. Yep.
Yeah.
So anyone who's listening, absolute authority uses tactical ploy during the battle, and when an opponent uses a strategic ploy or tactical ploy, excluding command reroll, their ploy is not used. The command point they spent on it is refunded, and they cannot use it again during this turning point. Note that you cannot use this tactical ploy outside of the battle, example in the scouting step. So that's like they can't stop. I don't think they can stop Sneaky Get then, right?
They cannot because it's
No.
not happening.
Yeah.
What if you had to have line of sight to the model that
Yes.
you were turning off absolute
Yes.
authority to?
Yes, because Hearth can function like that too.
Right.
Interesting. And that also that cannot be used on the same ploy more than once per battle. So,
Which is good because it would be awful. Like, oh hey, I'm turning off Vanguard every time. Good luck, Phobos.
yeah, I believe it. Yeah. I mean,
But it's such a punishing rule. Like, you line it up to make this happen. It's just like, nah.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're already kind of giving him a pass with strategic ploys, like at least if you have visibility, I can still use the ploy, but I have to use it on somebody he can't see, or
Correct. Yeah.
that the team could see, I guess.
so somehow shift power around absolute authority, making it +1, or maybe even 2 CP to cancel their +1. I mean, that's a 3 point.
Two CP would be good too.
That's a 3 CP swing. That's rough. I don't know.
It's a good ability. Remember what was it? Agents of Vect and 40K, like that got nerfed to hell.
It's exactly that,
and it still was good for a while.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know.
Those rules are always ones that are like, because I think the team already has a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah,
but
and they have such a deep roster.
Exactly, and then you bring
Deep
absolute
roster.
authority, and you're just like, oh, that's the part that gets scummy.
Maybe the first one that you use is 1 CP and the rest is 2 CP.
So cumulative adding
+1. No, I wouldn't say
just 2
cumulative. Yeah, maybe just like, I don't know. That's rough. So you guys think only absolute authority? Do you think that anything else should be touched? I'm thinking like they might actually touch.
Maybe the amount of plasma you can. Well, no, they already did that. Yeah, they already did that.
When the team first released, you could take 3 or 4 plasma.
It was
crazy.
a nightmare.
Yeah,
So
you're like, wow, and people were like, this team is bad. It's like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think the team is really good, but I think the team where this team is by far its weakest is how hard it is to play. This is a very difficult team to pilot correctly.
Yes.
And I think that if you don't pilot the team correctly, you're going to struggle immensely. And that's why it took so long for them to get to actually have like a positive record, like in stats and stuff. And we're starting to see, after it's been out for 6 or 7 months, people are starting to finally figure it out, like, hey, take the cat with the,
with the breachers, or take
Yeah.
Vanguard.
Yeah, with the plasma cannon or whatever.
People are cracking the code on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely think if this team is not touched, they have a really high chance of winning LVO. Because when we think about the data slate right now, they're not going to put out another data slate before the end of LVO. So whatever's good after this data slate drop, whatever it is, this is going to be the meta for the largest tournament on planet Earth for Guild Team. So,
planet Earth. All right, Mr. Jonathan, make me proud. I traded you my Inquisition for your Felgor.
Do you want to give more context to that, G?
So I won in the raffle, the Inquisitorial team, which is where I was like, oh, I have to replace guys for this. And then he won the Felgor box, but he already has that. So I said, you want to trade?
Oh, fair.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
Nice
how are you going to paint your Felgor?
That's a thing that I'll think about in like a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right.
When they're good again.
Yeah.
Or I have so much in the backlog of kill team stuff. Like my Hearthkin aren't getting love. Like I express shipped those Casterkins to the finish line,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Giacomo stayed up till 6:20 a.m. painting them in our hotel room.
Damn.
Got 2 hours of sleep and then commenced to win the painting.
They're beautiful though. The pattern you chose for them is just so cool.
The pattern is dope, but I can't see the fucking colors. Okay.
He cannot.
Yeah.
I did it to spite him.
Yeah. Yeah. I looked at them and they're like, somebody was like, I really like the green and red. And I was like, what the fuck? There's no green and red on this model.
They're cool ranch.
They're two different colors of brown. And they're like, no, that's green and red. And I look at them like super fucking close, like a maniac. And I was like, nope, It's fucking brown. And I was like, you chose the same color for the backpack and gun? And he's like, no, that's olive drab and that's mahogany. And I was like, they're both
Same color to me.
They're both fucking brown. Okay. Stop trying to lie to me. But, painting his models completely brown and all brown tones was good enough to win the painting competition. So good job, G.
There you go.
It's all about subtlety with neutrals.
So Casterkin are next up on the list.
Wait, we got breachers.
Oh, breachers. Nerf the shit out of them. I don't give a fuck. I don't ever want to see them again.
I literally don't know what to do. You're right. There's the things I want to nerf, but I also want them to just get the cat and the Geist skull built in.
So -6 operatives and then add those two in. Cool.
Yeah. Commandos them.
Because it would make no sense to take the the Void Jammer and go, yeah, I'm not going to take the Geist skull. What? And then you could have the guy who takes the cat unit, and then you don't take the cat.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point? Just give them a GA2 or something. If you got pets, let them have their pets.
I think the team is still S tier. We put them in S tier before. Jimmy's won multiple tournaments with them.
Ooh,
they did pretty well at the World Championships. I definitely could see this team getting a nerf.
They're strong. They're really strong.
They're really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
I definitely don't think taking the cat and the other thing is the answer, Giacomo.
What if you took
-1 operative?
What if you took the Void Jammer and then you have to take the Geist skull, so it takes place of something you could have taken, And the same thing if you take the other thing, you got to take the other unit.
I mean, you could also just get rid of stims.
Okay,
that might be good.
Just get rid of that. So then now they're forced to use other things because there's so many times that a team will just take all stims, and
I feel like
have
if they get
wounds.
rid of stims, they're just going to be like, everyone just gets 1 wound. Go fuck yourself, guys.
just buff the team, Giacomo. So Giacomo, you're rooting for a buff, and I'm saying nerf the team. Dylan,
I want them nerfed.
You want them nerfed now.
They need to be nerfed.
But I want them to have their pets. That's all.
The Hatch Cutter is such a good model.
God, the Hatch Cutters rocks.
Oh my God, it's a rock star of the team.
I also really like the Endurant.
Mm-hmm.
Endurance cool. Gives a little cover.
Yeah, and is also really surprisingly tanky. So, and also
Ooh,
they're breaching clear with grenades. They're breaching clear. It's just such a good ability. It can be really hard to play around.
Yeah.
Once you match their breach and clear, dude, it's over for your opponent.
Yeah.
They're untouchable in ITD.
Mm-hmm. There was, I believe, 2 or 3 of them at Worlds. I would be surprised if this team does not get touched in some way or form or another. They've been S tier ever since they came out. So, of course, I would say the same thing about Vetguard, and Vetguard need a nerf, and they haven't done that either. So,
So what do we know?
They're not going to do anything to this team.
Yeah. Why would they? They're perfect.
Probably not.
So, now we'll move on to Casterkin. Casterkin have had a pretty decently low win rate. I don't think they need a buff, but I think they're going to get a buff.
I would agree. Playing them, I think they're fun. Only thing is this. All right, so these guys are supposed to be top tier elites, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they only hit 3 times in combat? You're supposed to be elites, right? So you have better fighting styles. Can you just get 1 extra dice, or can you make Forcadia give you 1 extra dice?
Well, remember, everyone in Chaos gets +1 attack. I mean, that's why cults all get 4 attacks, right? Elite normal guys only get 3 attacks.
Right. Guys who are trained in arm-to-arm combat and shooting and everything. Nah, they don't get that extra. Can they get 1 more hit? Because I find the toughest time I have with them is when I'm in combat. Because I have 3 dice, so I have to roll perfect to somebody who might have 4, and they have a better chance of hitting me and blocking my stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You got the elite points to be all right, I'm going to turn that fail into a success. But I'd like to have the 4th one, even if it's just in Forcadia, because the knife only gives you 3 hits too.
Yeah,
then you got
that's kind of sad.
Yeah, Votan get a knife that gives them 4 hits.
Yeah, and then lethal.
Yeah. I mean, I could live without the lethal. It's just a knife. You got a plasma knife, different story.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's all. That's it. Honestly, I like the rest.
So I would say if you give them, if their combat blade gives them 4 attacks, then Vet Guard's hand axes get 4 attacks too.
That's fair. I will give you that trade.
Welcome to the new meta.
Buff the hand axes.
Hand axe meta.
Let's get lumberjacked.
Yeah. I don't. So this is my argument against UG. I don't think they're going to do that because I think that Catachan is going to come out eventually, and Catachan are all going to get 4 attacks, and they want to be able to differentiate these shooty teams from melee teams. So like typically when we see melee teams come out, they get 4 attacks, and all shooty teams get 3 attacks. Now, I think that this could be a good buff to the team for sure, just giving them an extra attack if you take the combat blade, making them actually pretty scary, and that could just fix the team in general. Like it gives them like opportunity to actually, kill something. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if that's where their headspace is. I feel like it's just going to be, +1 operative.
I don't want that though, because then we push into the now we're a horde. Yeah, now we're a horde. I like when they're not a horde.
No, they should be pseudo elite, right? Like,
yeah, they're like kind of there. They're at 10. They're what I expect. Maybe buff the flamethrower so someone will take it.
Yeah, and they don't need a buff tac ops. Their vital objective tac op is really good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sweep and clear for Cadia. Like their tactical ploys are good. So the only other thing that I could see them buffing, and this is where I think GW would do it, they would just give them more elite points. It seems like the GW thing to do.
Like it's a boring fix, but I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
It's the give them an extra wound or give them an extra operative fix.
Give them 9 wounds now?
No, not them, but like it's that kind of fix.
Okay, yeah, I see. What you
mean. Just get more of the thing. Like if they fix novitiates, here's more faith points.
Yeah, the thing they do good, let's have them do it gooder.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I guess. I mean, sometimes that is the fix.
I think the elite point thing would be valid, actually.
Yeah, that was the first time they fixed it was, hey, you also get 2 elite points when you start a turn instead of just with a sergeant, which
now it's going to be 3.
Yeah, it's a fix.
Yeah. So Vet Guard. Vet Guard are really strong. Yeah, I agree.
Maybe give the demo 2-time use of plant mine. That's it.
The what?
Maybe give the demo guy 2 times use of plant mine. Because that's exactly what you're doing now.
Yeah, you only typically use it like between. If you get lucky, you use it 3 times in a game. He's not dead. Right. You only really need to use it once. 2 times if you're lucky. 3 times if you're like smoking the enemy team. I personally think that the Vet Guard mine should not go through walls.
Yeah, maybe fix that. Get it in line with everybody else.
If they want to nerf it even further, have it only blow up 2 inches instead of 3 inches.
That's right. Yours explodes huge.
Yeah, it's a 6-inch blast. It's fucking stupid. And through walls. It's stupid. I could also see them fixing the spotter, and I could also see a possible fix to the team when they do assets. They only get 2 operatives instead of 4.
Well, real quick, I just looked at Phobos, not to get ahead, but their detonate also is 3 inches. So anything that has to be triggered seems to be 3 versus anything that has to be, not triggered. Anything that has to be activated is 3. Anything that's triggered.
It's harder to pull off. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because the Haywire mine is only 1 inch. Oh no, 3 inches. What the hell? All right, I don't know anymore. Never mind. Forget my arguments.
Yeah, so I think that like having it not blow up through walls, and then if they need a further nerf the spotter, maybe do both. And if they need another one, I would say only bring 2 operatives. But I think if they do the other ones and then they also nerf the 2 operatives, I think the team might
that'd be too much.
Yeah. You got to make sure that those other assets are useful. The auxiliary stuff isn't just like always take the 2 extra models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they could also just buff the support assets, and I don't think it'll change the team at all because.
Ooh, that'd be fun to buff the airstrikes.
Because
Yeah.
they are a relatively hard team. They're a really hard team to pilot, and they're also a really hard team to score full secondaries on because of security. So,
Yeah.
like, I do think that there is play there, but I definitely think that the demo mine should not go through walls at the least. How about intercession? Do they need a buff or a nerf? Because here's the thing. We've had this thing throughout the whole year. Intercession is strong. Intercession is A tier. We don't think they can win any tournaments. Hey, they won SoCal. Holy shit. They're actually really good. Hey, they went to the World Championships of Warhammer and they all got, crushed. What's going on with this team? They seem to be going up really up and down. I have a theory. But what is your guys's?
I think they're fine where they are. I don't really see what else you really could do, whether a buff or a negative, because if you buff them too much, they become a problem again. But if you take away too much, there's really nothing left to take away.
Yeah.
So I'm actually more in favor of a buff to intercession.
What would you do?
Than I am a nerf.
Extra.
So, yeah, +1 operative. Let's be honest. Maybe +1 wound.
No, God, no.
No.
Want sergeants running around the field?
No, I would not do that. I would bring back durable before I did that. I don't think I would also say that this team probably doesn't need to be touched in all honesty.
Yeah. I think they're pseudo balanced, right? Because they've won some events, they've lost some events.
Mm-hmm. They're also extremely fun, and I
love playing against them too.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. I wouldn't want to take anything away from that because I think that out of any team that has been released thus far in Kill Team, this is by far their most successful team they've ever released because it is so much fun to play.
Yeah,
and
you feel
it's fun to play against. Like,
yes.
You never feel like they're just, crushing you. There's always a game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's always, I'm on my toes when I play against them, whether I knock out a few operatives in the beginning or not. It's always scary to see them come close.
Yeah. And since they're easy, they're a great team for beginners to pick up, a great team for beginners to learn with.
Yes.
I think they're a really good team. I hope nothing happens to them. I would hope that nothing does, personally.
Yeah. Don't need anything else.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Cool.
If you wanted to, they won't. But if you wanted to, now that they've released the flamethrowers and you have Hellblasters in the same mark of armor, you could switch the gunners to have a plasma or a flamethrower every now and then.
That would be sick.
They're not necessarily intercessors, but they're in the same armor.
Mm-hmm. They're in the attack.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Mm-hmm. But that wouldn't even really change the funness for me.
Next season, G.
There we go. When enough people own the models.
Yeah. No, that would be sick. Moving on to Phobos.
Ugh.
Phobos are also great, but they have their issues, quite big issues.
Theirs is a tough one because I feel like there's already so much to use. And I think not everyone fully grasps that because I've definitely helped friends learn the team and they don't fully grasp all the things you can do with them.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I've been playing them for as long as I can remember and I still don't know everything. Not off the top of my head.
I still think that this team in particular is just bad synergistically.
Yes.
Okay.
They're fast. And they kill small things really good. They're not super great into elites as much, though they've gotten buffed to be multiple times in order to deal specifically with elites. But they still do everything okay other than speed. Their speed is A tier, S tier.
Yeah, they can get around anywhere. They lack the AP, where intercession has the ability to shoot twice built in natively and like can do some decent damage without the AP. These guys kind of lack it outside of like your saboteur,
Yeah.
or taking the P1 ability for like deadly shots or something,
I don't think this team needs a buff or a nerf. They've already been buffed a lot, and they're really close to being overpowered because of all of their random shenanigans that they can do. And they have a great Alpha Strike. They have a great way to ignore cover and obscuring. So, yeah, I hope they don't touch this team either.
I mean, I guess the only thing you could do, because there's one useless guy on the team. In my opinion, he's useless. I've never once taken a Vox Breaker. That's a lie. I took it once and I hated it, and I never took it again.
Yeah, delete that model and add in a different model.
Just make the Auspex scan the intercession one.
Add in a Reaver melee guy.
Please,
badass melee guy.
Please make Reavers good again.
Yeah, please, because Reavers are left wanting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any specialists, but, the Reaver Warrior, being its specialist on his own, is pretty strong. And then you're going to take the Reaver Sergeant. He's hitting on 2s in close combat.
As hard as I try to, orc it into existence, it doesn't happen.
It's the one thing they're orking into existence is the anti-that. It's the one thing they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to Justinian. Gee, you just played last weekend. Not this past weekend, the weekend before, a tournament with Justinian, and so did Alex. Alex played the past 2 weekends with Justinian. What did you feel about the team?
Well, I felt it was awesome because I fragged him. He died before I did. No, it came down to who went first. My heavy bolter blew up his captain, and then it was over from there. It was all downhill. Yeah, I just happened to roll better. That was it. It was all because of a roll. We were gambling.
It's not because you had 10 dice. It's
not because I had 10
better.
dice.
Right.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Fair enough.
Squad Games protects. His dice didn't work. Mine were working. No, I think the team is awesome. They're in a cool spot, but I do think, all right, everyone has their opinion on this, and I'll give you mine. There's a sergeant and there's a captain. Those are 2 leader positions. Right? Mm-hmm. I almost expect them to get a rule because there's not really anything you can buff or anything, Mm-hmm. It is what it is. But I feel like there's going to be a rule where they're going to say you got to pick one as your leader and then you can't take the other which almost forces you to take the captain because why would you not want the extra command point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also that's a pretty decent nerf because you make the leader your guy because they're your sergeant because your leader is always going to be up front, and if they take headhunter and your captain dies, which half the time he does die, they're going to get headhunter. So you put them on your sergeant so that they don't get headhunter just in case.
Right, that's the easiest trick to do. So once you learn that, you always hunt the sergeant because that's probably where they're putting headhunter.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's gonna happen, and I think that might be a change they do. Not a change, a clarification, because the team doesn't need changes; they need clarifications.
Dillon, have you fought against Justinian yet?
Not yet. I heard they're super fun.
They are.
They are super fun.
Yeah,
but having a captain and a sergeant that both hit on 2 up is pretty.
And a sniper.
And a sniper, yeah, that's on pretty strong.
Yeah,
that's pretty strong.
Half of their operatives do. And what do you call their heavy bolter? You and Alex.
So Alex came up with the name because there was in the box you get the English and the Japanese version of the card. The English has a misprint where the Japanese version has the correct version. So Alex has called it the Mitsubishi Heavy Bolter. It's made in Japan because it has 5 attacks. Mm-hmm. So so it's the Mitsubishi Bolter. The American one only has 4 attacks. So if you want, you can play American. I'm going to stick with the Mitsubishi Bolter and shoot 5 times twice.
Yeah. So
yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mitsubishi Bolter all the way.
All the way.
I think that this team in particular really needs some clarifications. So Games Workshop has ran them with Seek and Destroy and Security, just like
Intercession.
So obviously that's kind of where they're just lacking rules.
Yo, what if they just were F it, get all the archetypes?
Bro, you would just, they would actually become S tier.
You can mix and match all of them. Just say, fuck it. It doesn't matter anymore.
I'm going to take recover item.
Because they don't have any tac ops,
Yeah, it's true. They don't. So
maybe limit it. Maybe limit it. You could take 2 from one and 1 from another.
I could see them doing that.
because they have all sorts of like operatives. So why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
F it. He's the captain. He does whatever he wants.
Right?
Captain Justine.
I'm Captain now.
So we're moving on to Gellerpox. I fought a lot of Gellerpox this weekend. Gellerpox took fourth at the
Ooh-wee.
World
Fourth, yeah.
Championship.
Just
Well,
under-
don't ask me. There's some weird stuff. I'm gonna check before I miss. I'm gonna.
novitiates.
So go lead this conversation. I'm gonna check this real quick.
Novitiates. I'm trying to think of it in my head too. I can only
What?
think of novitiates and vet guard. I can't remember who's number 2
For what?
for the weekend. Which teams took what? Because you took third.
Oh,
right?
yeah. So it was Novitiates, Felgor
Felgor.
in second with Jimmy Kelly, and then
That's
I was third, and then Gellerpox was fourth and fifth.
Yes.
I'm looking for something that I found very interesting.
About the Gellerpox infected.
No, about this is a fascinating thing. So the Kill Team World Championships of Warhammer, Orion got fourth, right? He ended up, with taking Gellerpox and doing extremely well with them. Which is very, and then they also were, at this event, and they took fourth and fifth out of 32 players. So obviously there's still some real strength to Gellerpox, right? They just keep getting nerfed after nerfed after nerfed after nerfed. I keep
getting back up, man.
They're disgusting and they're resilient,
They are.
What can we say? So I think there's definitely an issue with the Kill Team World Championships of Warhammer. Currently, Adrian Bonavento is in second place, with less ITC points than who got in third place, which is really weird. But it should be Alberto Java in second place, though their ITC point seems very odd. I don't understand. Yeah, it's really weird, to say the least. But Orion got fourth there. So Gellerpox are really, really strong right now, and I would not be. I would say that the team could use another nerf. I think that they're really, really strong. I just don't know what it would be. They've been nerfed so many times already.
I don't know either. Honestly, I think when I play against them, sure, it's an uphill battle. But I don't hate the team. I think I generally have a good time against them.
They're fun. Yeah. Maybe one less wound on some of the bigger guys.
Maybe change the way their equipment works. Like still have the dudes, but figure out how to pay for them better.
Oh, you could just make it so you get one less equipment. So one less little dude.
Little bug.
Also, I dislike the fact that Technocurse is so easy. Tech infection is so easy to get as a tac op.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that you can just, with Gellerpox, just easily charge a model onto a point, get route, rob and ransack, and then your next activation, have a glitchling tech infect it and get 3 APL, or three points from your secondaries just pretty much instantly. So
that's a little broken.
Yeah, I mean not instantly, but you know what I mean. Yeah, and there's if they do it to 4 different objective markers, then they get 2 VP. If they do it to 3, which there's usually 3 on your half of the board, you get 1 VP. So if you're playing loot, you probably don't take tech infect. But if you're playing pretty much, or maybe even secure, you only need to do once, so it's still possible. But I think that control. Okay, this is what I would like to see for Colts and for this team. I'm gonna skip ahead just a tad.
Let's do it.
Models that are not allowed to tap points, I don't like that they would be able to control objectives.
Right. They should also not be able to do that.
right? Like, I understand that it's like, maybe so. For instance, the Hulks can tap a point for 2, right? So give them 1 APL worth of control. Because if they just sit on an objective marker, sometimes they're impossible, especially for certain teams that lack the damage to deal with them. I think that could be an easier fix, so they just don't auto win control battles a lot of the time. They can just sit on objectives and just not die, because they even have models that you can't shoot unless you're playing Vet Guard with the spotter, and they accidentally move like a model too close to one of their super conceal guys. Like, they have super conceal on their small dudes. Like, what are you supposed to do against this team, right?
Nothing.
You're supposed to run into them and die, and that's what people usually do. There is a trick into fighting this team, just like there's a trick into fighting Colts, right? Like, I haven't lost to Colts yet, even though I've played them so many times, 4 times. Like, I think there's definitely a trick into this team, but if you don't change the way you play, you're gonna not do great into them. So I think that changing the APL holding for control could be a nice semi fix for something. I don't hate it.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like a pretty easy fix, which is a good fix too.
Yeah. So Legionary also went to Worlds, and they are really strong. Do you guys think that they should get a nerf?
No.
I think they're like Intercession.
They're fun. Yeah.
I agree.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
Maybe make Corn a little more fun to play, but not necessarily.
Yes. Please.
Because you're not seeing Corn very often.
Totally agree.
Yeah. It's Nurgle, Slanesh, and Zinj comes in every now and then.
Yeah.
So we have Blooded next. Blooded are... Sometimes they win tournaments. Sometimes they do really well. I've played into them. I think they're really good. I think if you nerf some of the other melee teams, including like, commandos, I think this team will still be in a good spot. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm in the same exact boat.
Yeah. Pretty balanced.
Okay, so leave them alone.
Yep, leave
them alone, GW.
They're good.
Chaos Cult.
We just said it earlier.
You think that's the only thing that needs to be fixed on them?
No, probably
other
not.
than what we've said in the past. We've gone over this quite a few times.
That's all wild, like, desires. That's not actually like real.
What you think think they're going to do. So what do you think they're going to do to this team?
Give him an extra wound.
Give him an extra operative.
I think
they should lose a wound. They should lose a wound on the regular guys.
Okay, on the devotees.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good idea.
It won't really change much though, because you're probably going to do 7 damage anyways. The control thing is important. I think if once you can't perform actions, you probably shouldn't have the ability to control anymore, because you're kind of you're rampaging all over the place. So you're not really focused on that anymore.
I mean, same could be said for the Legionaries character too, right?
Yeah. It should be exactly that.
As soon as he goes demonic, he can't control.
Right. It's no more like you can't control, you can't tap. Maybe you can do the mission action to open the door at least. No, it's pretty funny to lock him in a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to lock him into a room.
The look on your opponent's face is like priceless.
Mm-hmm. They're like, God damn it. I think, in all honesty, -2. I think what GW is going to do to this team is -2 devotees.
Okay. Okay. That means that their ability to have threats on either side or anywhere on the board becomes a little bit less, because now those 2 other guys can't suddenly transform.
If I had to guess, I would say definitely -2 devotees. Maybe they nerf the healing a tad. But I don't know how much they want to actually just like innately change the team. Because that's what this team needs. This team should just go into the trash, and they should remake it, because
similar to Warp Coven.
Yeah, maybe they only get one. They also only get like one. Maybe GW will also say, you only get 1 mutation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like you limit the amount of times you can mutate in a turn.
No. Like their
the torments.
Yeah, like the accursed gifts. Like they only get like 1 accursed gift instead of like
Oh,
getting
okay.
2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, because those accursed gifts are nice.
Yeah, they could also minus wounds of the torments to like 10. And maybe that's how they fix the healing aspect, is that they just nerf torments itself. Yeah, I think this team needs it needs way too much work for because when they nerf them, they're either going to get really bad and open, and they're just going to not be viable
Playable.
anymore.
Yeah.
But they'll be still decent on Into the Dark. Like
Or they have protection.
Yeah, but I'm sick of the team, so just get it out of the meta. Just nerf them into the ground. And I also think there's definitely one more thing that's super important about Colts that they should nerf, and that's a -1 more Pathfinder operative. They'll be great.
Yes. Warp Coven.
Yeah.
They're a team.
We forgot Felgor.
We did? Oh shit. Well, we're all, fuck. Let's do Felgor then.
Felgor are really strong. I just played against Jimmy with them. I really hope. I don't know if they really need a buff.
What if they were to get their frenzy thing back?
No, they don't need a buff. In my opinion, I don't think Ravagers need a buff. I think a lot of people, just like with Commandos, really just were like, so the Commandos thing, they're like, they're so good in the Colts. Oh my gosh, like we beat them now. Oh yeah, okay, no more Colts are showing up to tournaments. Blah 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 blah. Felgor fucking suck now. I don't think that's the case. I fought them. They're good,
and they seem like such a cool team too.
Yeah,
they are good.
Yeah,
yeah. The shaman is like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's my favorite model.
Oh my god, he's so good.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think the team is going to get a buff, though. I mean, they already said it before. So
yeah.
Now the question is, how big is that buff is it going to be? Are they just going to revert stuff? Are they going to say, oh, now you can no longer score Seek and Destroy against them? What are they going to do? Dead models count on scoring objectives. Oh my fucking god! I swear to God, I just want to kill myself. It's like, hey, we just traded out Colts for Felgor. Ha ha ha! Guess what?
Yeah,
we're still in the thing of melee. Hey, hey, hey! We can't learn a lesson. Hey, hey, hey! Yeah.
What if they increase the EP of Warpaint? Or limited Warpaint?
A classic fix.
Yeah. That is what they probably should have done in the beginning.
Yeah.
Warpaint is already too good.
Right.
It's super
like,
good.
Just take all Warpaint.
That's what everyone does.
Yeah. Yeah. Warpaint at I think Warpaint at 2 is already too much.
Okay.
Like I think it's too high of a cost. I think that maybe
or maybe you limit how many people can take it.
Correct. I think maybe 5. Limit it to 5.
Half the team feels right.
Yeah.
Like you can only take 5 Warpaint on a team. And then they can like use the other, they can take a crack grenade and like the frag grenade. Still busted. But
like corrupted weapons sounds so much fun to use, but I know people aren't going to use it, or at least not as often.
What, because it just gives them rending?
Yeah, like I mean that's such a cool ability. I like the rending stuff. I like the corrupted crap. I like it, but like Warpaint's like, oh yeah, of course I'm going to ignore all modifiers.
It's an auto take.
Yeah, like I'm not going to not do that.
Yeah, maybe it is worth 2, and then just you can only take like 2 of them on a team, or 3 of them,
or 3. 6. So that way, like, oh, do I really want to take Warpaint on everyone? No, just on a few guys.
That's just a nerf. So how are we going to buff the team? If we're a Games Workshop, what are we going to do? +1 operative, right?
Yep. 2 shamans.
2 shamans. Fuck it, throw a Zangor in there.
+1 wound. I don't know.
Give him a Bulgor. No.
Bulgor?
Oh my god.
That's some AOS shit. Hell yeah.
Dude, I'm down.
What's the gore I painted for Peter? Fuck, I have to go look through my commissions.
I would like that. That would be cool. Just give him one of those and take away 2 operatives and give him 18 wounds.
Yeah.
A new torment.
Like a Felgor Ogre.
Yeah.
A Felgor Ogre.
Yeah.
Frenzing Ogre. I love it.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to get a Doom Bowl. That model's too big.
Torment. I mean, oh god, that sounds awful. I know the fix. -1 Pathfinder operative. Moving on. No. I mean, the easy call that they could do is just to remove one of the nerfs that they did before.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Like give them back
Yeah.
one thing, and that's probably it's okay to step to take a step back, guys. It's fine.
They definitely also need to clarify whether you can kill it in one activation or not. We've already ruled it for our tournaments, and other TOs have ruled it for other tournaments. No, you cannot kill them in one shooting activation. But I would love an errata to come out so that I can stop arguing with people, or I can be proven wrong. One of the two. Some clarity would be nice, for sure. Have you played, Dillon? Have you actually played Felgor?
I have not piloted them. I've played against them pre-nerf.
Thank you, Alex.
And they were fun. They were really strong and fun to play against. Post-nerf, I haven't played them, which is surprising. I feel like a lot of people lost the steam on the team, which is sad because they're so cool.
So Felgor really struggle, I think, on maps that have no heavy in the center of the board. And
yeah, totally.
Those kind of maps are very popular in Europe, and that just means that Pathfinders and Vetguard are better in Poland than they probably should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're a little bit better when you're able to hide stuff, and then with Into the Dark still being a thing. Warp Coven, we've gone over multiple times on this podcast. They need a buff of some sort.
Just make the whole new team.
There we go. That's easy.
Yeah.
Yep, just throw them away.
Corsairs, I actually have a really interesting take on.
Okay.
It's probably not super interesting, but just give them another heavy. Don't give them another operative. Just make it so that they can take a second heavy gunner or a second gunner of either one to put them in the same power. I've played them multiple times now recently, and they are not a difficult team to beat.
No, they're not. you start wiping out the key ops, and they fold a little bit.
Also, all of their tac ops fucking suck.
Yeah.
They are awful. They are not good. So a rework of those, giving them a new one, something a little bit easier to score. They're not super good. Soul Guard is a really cool narrative thing.
Very flavorful, but
their tac ops just seems super narrative to me. And I just don't, they just don't score.
Well, you got to love if you're already winning, win more. Yeah. Tac op too.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think if you give this team a second gunner, I think the team will be on a similar power level as Hand of the Archon, which is already in the A tier. And I think this team will perform much better if they're able to take, a blaster and a shredder, or a blaster and a heavy, what is it called? The Wraith Cannon, So that would be my fix.
I don't play the team enough to know, so I'm going to just concur with you.
Sure. Hand of the Archon, I think they're in a great state. I think they're really strong. I think they're not great into orcs. Maybe they'll rise to the cream, the top, when commandos, which we'll talk about them soon enough, get a hit, get nerfed,
hit with the nerf bat. Yeah. Hand of the Archon's so fun.
Yeah, they're so cool.
So fun.
Yeah, they have a great Alpha Strike. A lot of these teams have good Alpha Strikes.
They have just enough spice too that you're just like, oh, that's hell yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see this team not touched.
Yes, same.
Yeah. They're good enough.
If they touch the grenade lady, YOLO Linda, as I call her.
I love that.
That's good. I like that.
She's so good.
Yeah. Moving to the next team. I just had an ad pop up. That's awesome. Void Dancers. Just delete the team.
Yeah. Bye.
Yep.
Trash.
Trash.
I don't know. I kind of I don't like playing against them because I hate I hate Domino Field, but I don't think that makes them bad.
I don't think that any team that was released in White Dwarf is a good team.
Yeah, they're
For
either
the
too
game.
good
Yes.
or just bad.
Yeah, I somebody else created the teams. I don't know what happened, but they are not.
They feel clunky. Like there's with the performance art stuff and like it's cool. It's super narrative.
Like
But it
change
just-
Sadith, make it completely different.
Exactly.
But they're super strong. Like, just leave the team alone. Leave the team at home.
Yeah.
No one likes them.
What if Sadith got the chapter tactics treatment? So like they sort of rework some stuff, and you can
That
pick
would be
from
cool.
from like 2 allegories, and like you get these abilities as the turns go further, because that's how play progresses. You get to the next act.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, that'd be cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
That's a hot take. That's really good.
It's an epic comedy, guys, or it's
Yep.
a tragic melodrama. Who knows? Some crap like that.
Yep.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can
that
see
could be fun. That could be fun.
Yeah, I think the team itself is extremely good and can be very, very dominant. It's also a hard team to play, and the operatives, there's a lot of stuff moving with the team. I think it's a
A lot of spinning plates, as they say.
it's a frustrating team to play against. Like, if everything was something that you would, what is it called? Improv. If everything was an improv show, all the teams that say no are bad teams. Felgor is a bad team. Colts is a bad team. Void Dancers are a bad team. They ignore too many rules. They change too many things about the game. It's not fun to play into, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
I'll give you that.
they are just a team that say no, and they're like, it feels like GW is reaching too far to make teams new, make teams different, and they forgot some of the core principles of the game, and the game is supposed to be fun. That's why Intercession is like, yeah, and I get a move, and when I die, I get to shoot again. How much fun is this, right? Like, those are good teams, right? We want to see more teams that do more stuff, not like Inquisition, who's like, nope, Hearthkin, nope, you're not allowed to move. Like, let's give more and abilities rather than anything else. My hot take. Wormblade, another White Dwarf team. Hey,
What do you know?
they've been bad for a while. I'm not familiar enough with Wormblade to know what they need to nerf. I played them against John Boudoir's. He's one of the TOs up there. I played him this weekend. They were really squishy, and I feel like they work best off surprise, but when you can play around it or you can sacrifice things, they're not as good. So I know that people hate to hear give them +1 more locust or whatever those things are called. The Sanctus Sniper, the Talon, the Locust, like, give them all 3 of the dudes. They're just a hard team to fix because there's not a lot going on with them. And there's a lot going with them, but yeah, I don't know how to make this team any better either. I would like, that's the easiest thing, is to change one of them and, let them have a Kellermorph, a Locust, and 1 more guy. Maybe they can take all 4, and if they take 1, 2, 3, 4, they all count as 2 operative selections. So maybe in the right kind of the right kind of list, that could be good. Like, that gives them at least a little bit more, because they're struggling pretty bad. I mean, maybe give them +1 wound, and actually give them +1 more wound on certain models. Not the neophytes, because they should stay weak, but I don't know. A leader maybe has 9 wounds or something. They have a little bit of that Gene Stealer blood in them. That'd probably be some kind of help to them, but I don't think even giving them all +1 wound would really, like, make the team, like, insanely better. You know what I mean? G or Dillon, do you have any thoughts on the team?
It'd be cool if you could, like, bring in actual Gene Stealers.
Hell yeah, that would be
Yeah, actually, that's something I'd like to see. Just like, where is the abhorrent? Not abhorrent. Is that his name? No, it's the abhorrent, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Like, why can't I have one? Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
The
cool.
abhorrence, the abnormal ones,
The
the ones with
aberrants,
the big
aberrants.
hands,
Yes.
the ones with the big hammers and stuff.
Yeah. Just like have one of them, because like, I
That'd be
mean, we've all
sick.
seen Angels of Death. I haven't finished it, but we've seen it, and you're like, oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is sick. No, that's a great idea. Maybe instead of doing that, they can bring in a couple additional operatives that can do different things, so they have a little bit more of a variation of selection.
So they'd have a little more teeth too.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Absolutely.
something a little more tanky.
Yeah. So moving on to the Farstalker Kinband, they have a lot of dice issues throughout all of their games. They usually max tac ops really easily. Balance the books is really good.
Mm-hmm.
They need dice manipulation, maybe, because they don't always hit the best. I know they got changed to be better already. Like some of the guys got +1 to hit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know if giving them more +1 to hits is necessarily the right call in order to fix them. I have a crazy hot take for them. Games Workshop won't do. Give them the crew talks.
No, not a thing.
I know.
It's not
It'd
a
be
thing,
fun.
dog.
Have them take place of 2 models.
Maybe in 3rd edition, when they'll decide to inevitably add guys as like, it's going to be like this, and it's not going to be like this. This is my guess of what it's going to be like. Similar to Necromunda, you're going to get your base team. Then when the next edition comes out, here's the 2-man upgrade sprue for your team.
Or new vehicles. They're going to add vehicles to Kill Team.
Nah, get the hell out of here.
Some go-karts.
All right, maybe. You got me at go-karts.
Yeah, go-karts are dope. Dillon, do you have any thoughts about Farstalker? I mean, it's a hard team.
They need something.
I agree. They need something.
I don't know what. I like that. Meat is super cheap now. Like that was a good buff to them. Yeah, I don't know. They just kind of hit a little pillow-fisted.
Yeah. I mean, they can slap pretty damn bad.
Oh, yeah. If you line it up with Call to Kill and everything, like you just might as well remove a model. But
yeah, I think they're on the point of like, if you buff them a little bit more, they might just win everything. So I'm hesitant, but I think something could be done. Maybe some sort of a power shift.
That flamer, the heavy gunner flamer, is so nasty.
Oh yeah.
So is the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the heavy flamer in ITD is.
Yeah, the Skinner. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think. I mean. You could just give them +1 wound, I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
They're a Xenos team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that'll fix the team, but this is just yet another team that Exaction Squad cannot arrest.
That's sad. That's so sad. Poor Exaction Squad.
Yeah. So, did we go over Hearthkin already?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about some Hearthkin now.
Please let him move an extra inch.
Yeah, just standardize it.
Oh
Make it
god.
6. Just standardize it, guys.
That's all you have to do. Team's fixed.
Think so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Just standardize the movement.
Turning point 1 and 2 are so punishing.
Yep.
I agree.
You never make it in time.
You never make it to those primaries.
Yeah, if they had actual normal movement, maybe their dash only lets them move like 7 inches. What does their dash make it to them now? Only 7 inches, right? And they can only charge 6. So maybe maybe the charge remains at 6, the dash remains at 7, but they get an extra inch of movement. And when they're wounded, please, for the love of God, let them only move 4 and stop. I want to stop having the question of, hey, if they're wounded, do I get that 5-inch movement? It's like, I guess. I don't fucking know. Like,
yeah, that's pretty unclear, huh?
Yeah, like whenever you move,
mine are never
+1
wounded.
inch.
Mine are just get one shot all the time, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny that sometimes so many teams just release just not playable. like our next team, Higher Tech Circle.
Oh,
The Higher Tech Circle.
They got a glow
Aw.
up, and it still
They
wasn't
did.
really enough.
They need a little more of a glow up.
They've had 4 glow up, my
This
guys.
is where
Oh.
the joke fix actually makes sense. Give them another model.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah.
I think we were talking to Jonathan in the car, who's a pretty big player for. He plays Higher Tech quite a lot. He likes the team. His ideal fix was just to give him one more immortal. I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
The team is already pretty good, but they just need a little bit more, I think.
Maybe make the death mark a little better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe have him like if he gets to deep strike in, like his little dimension thing, he doesn't count as moving, so he can actually shoot something.
Yeah, because heavy's brutal.
Yeah, some of these some things are rough. Okay, we're gonna move on to our final 2 teams.
Bum 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 bum.
We have Commandos.
Mm.
I am sick of them, and I want them to be nerfed into the ground so I don't see them anymore. I'm sorry.
They're in the line of sights. Like they and the community article, they're like, we're keeping a close eye on what Commandos does.
Just sneaky git, turn it to one thing.
You think that's it?
Did anyone bring commandos at all to the tournaments we went to the last 2?
No, because everyone doesn't want to play them anymore because they're considered dickheads.
Yeah, everyone's tired of playing them.
Yeah, and they all know that they're going to get fixed eventually, right?
Yeah.
I think we were all hoping that the data slate would come out before the tournament to see what would happen, but we're still waiting on it. I would like to see the buffs reverted. Get rid of the thing where you can take the bomb squig and the guy. Get rid of the sneaky git. And while you're at it, -1 Pathfinder operative. I mean, Just a Scratch is also, it's another nope ability, right? Which,
yep.
and Vedguard have one too. I'm not going to lie. Like there's another, Just a Scratch can get so many people so hard. I think maybe like Just a Scratch costs an extra CP later in the game, like on turning point 4 or something.
No, not once per game. But yeah, like maybe it costs, after your first one, it costs 2.
Yeah. Something like I don't know if they need that. If you revert all the buffs and everything like that, they'd still be a great team, right? They're still going to probably be A tier at that point. They might not be S tier anymore, depending on how everything shakes out. But I don't know.
The grot and the bomb squig are so flavorful, though. That's kind of like why you play the team. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean, you could just get rid of a normal boy and just keep it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You get an extra boy anyway.
Yeah, just what, -1 operative?
I don't know. Maybe?
No, yeah. I don't know. I mean, you could also see them get like rid of Seek and Destroy and make them play Infiltration. And that would be like Infiltration's a lot harder to max on, especially against certain teams. Though, like Seek and Destroy is, I mean, it's just a really easy tack up thing to score.
It's what you're gonna do anyway if you wanna crump, man.
Yeah. So I mean, and I feel like it gets rid of some of their flavor. I just I don't know.
That's a hard one. They got to do it delicately because.
Yeah, I think at least they're going to get the sneaky git has to go. If it doesn't go, I'll change it for LVO. I don't give a fuck. Like it's busted.
It is.
Yeah. And I would really like to see something else about the team change as well, at least. And I think in my case, I would just revert all of their buffs that they've gotten. That's just what I would do if I was G-dubs. Do you guys have any other dissenting opinions? Do you want to give them a buff? You guys secret orc lovers or what?
I mean, I love I love
like 'em,
orcs,
but they don't really
They're-
mean anything.
they don't need any. They don't need a buff.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they don't need a buff.
Moving on to Pathfinders.
One less operative.
I'd give him one less operative, to be honest. Lower that win rate down to 16%. That'll make me happy, but I guarantee you they are going to get a buff. With their win rate being so poor, I definitely could see this team getting something, right? What that thing is, I'm not sure. Maybe they revert their lightest nerf. Maybe they get the operative back, maybe because there's so many more melee teams into them. I just think that might bust them again. But, just because no one's playing Pathfinders doesn't mean they're not good.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, especially when you start seeing other nerfs happen to teams that are decent into them. I think that could
They're
be
going to creep up in power level for sure.
And if you start changing the maps, like people are saying, or people want maps to be changed to have less heavy in the middle, like, some people did not like, some of them, how the maps were laid out at the Warhammer, the World Championships of Warhammer. Shooty teams get a buff innately, and shooty teams get a buff when terrain changes itself. So like, what is this new terrain going to be? What is the new rules? Is it going to be, is it going to be the new competitive going forward? Like,
it looks really shooty.
It looks shooty as fuck.
Yeah. It looks like Atlantis ain't got no cover.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those poor striking scorpions.
Yeah, poor striking scorpions indeed. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because if that does become the competitive norm terrain set, heaven save us.
Yeah,
it doesn't look great to me.
I don't think it's going to.
I echo that.
Would you also maybe take away that their dash trick works?
Oh man, I would love to nerf this team more. Let me tell you about my nerfs. It would actually be a game-wide nerf. If I had to nerf, this nerf would a rule change for the erratas coming up would be, I would say that you cannot dash more. You cannot have a model move more than 3 inches before the game starts. So like Pathfinders are well known that they can get the recon dash or weekend sweep, and then they can take the dash thing itself, right? Like if you want to do both, they have to be on 2 different models. I don't care. You can't get that extra 6 inches on a model.
Agreed.
Like, I don't care. I just don't care. That would be one of my biggest changes to Kill Team right now, is making that happen, because this team is when this team is powerful, it is not fun to play Kill Team.
No.
When Colts are powerful and they're in your tournament, it is not fun to play Kill Team.
Mm-hmm.
And we are here to make player, or as a TO, here to have player retention and to make sure people are having fun. And if there's teams in the meta that just make you not have fun, it's bad for the game, and I don't want to see it turn more into 40K where we just keep seeing a power creep, because we've seen power creep over the past few teams outside of Justinian, with Felgor having to get nerfed. These past Inquisition, Colts were so busted that they've had two nerfs faster than any other team has ever had a nerf, right? Like,
oopsie.
Yeah, they came out and within 2 weeks they're like, "Hey, actually, this guy the damage reduction goes to what everyone else does," and then they're like, "Hey, actually, and now they're going to get a nerf again because the team is just stupid." But yeah, so I think that's going to be our our guesses for. Do you guys think that anything else should change for the game, like an errata for anything else?
The movement one was a good one.
The recon or the only 3 inches dash
A
early.
model can only be forward moved once.
Yeah, because there's another thing that you can do with Vet Guard, I believe, is you can actually take the recon dash and take the demo man and just move him 7/8 of an inch forward, so his base is still in your deployment zone, and then you can into the breach move an extra 3 inches, and then he's actually has instead of a 11, 12, 13, 14, he has like a 15-inch threat range or some shit. It's stupid.
See, little things like that. Like if you've already moved a guy forward, they can't move forward again.
Yeah, super.
So this
simple.
would include sneaky get or something, shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can only do it once. I would like to see, instead of sneaky get being changed, this is I would like to see the overall forward deploy for the game changed. So instead of them just changing sneaky get, I think that in the game itself, you need to see forward deploys change. You can only forward deploy one model, plain and simple, right? Because there are a lot of other teams, surprisingly, who have multiple forward deployments that people might abuse for LVO, and a lot of them are compendium, right? You have we were talking in the car on the way up with Jonathan and Alex. Some of these teams I didn't even know existed because I just forget that compendium exists in the first place, right? The only time that I remember is when Jimmy Kelly brings something because he's figured out something weird and wins, an 87-person tournament because he brought talents. That man's a genius. But like, I believe it's a Chaos team. Trader Space Marines.
That's correct.
Yeah, Trader Space Marines, you can take 3 Space Marines and 8 normal dudes, and forward
cultists.
The cultists, and forward deploy 3 of them and just
be so aggressive.
Yeah. So, I think it's the strike from within trait for 1 CP. Select 1 friendly Chaos Cult operative. That operative can be set up within conceal. It's literally just sneaky get within 1 inch of heavy cover and more than 6 inches from enemy operatives and drop zones. So there's the new sneaky get. If only sneaky gets changed, I mean, I don't know if that team can actually win a tournament, but they could for all we know, right?
Kudos to you if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's one other team. What was the other team, G, that could do that? Do you remember?
No, I do not.
Yeah, there's one other team in Compendium. Oh, it's the Brood Coven?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought Brood Coven was done, though.
It could be. I hope so. The Brood Coven can also do it. So I believe that is... where was it? What is it called? Underground. You literally just get sneaky hit for 1 CP per operative as well for Brood Coven models. So let's hope that they change the overall rule and we don't see this at LVO even more, because I think that could be an issue. It might not be, but I guess we'll have to see.
It looks like we've come to the end.
We have. Firstly, I'm going to start off with the shout outs. Charnel House Tattoo, best tattoos in LA.
Hey.
Possibly on the West Coast.
Yo.
Let's go.
Hit up Dillon if you guys are interested in a tattoo, or just follow him on his art pages and give another artist some love.
Links in the description.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah. Dillon, is there anything that you want to shout out, brother?
Squad games, man.
Yo.
Let's go.
Are you saying perhaps the best events on the
they're the only events I attend.
Oh, you heard it here first.
So if you want to see me,
Are you going to LVO?
I want to. It's undecided. I know it's creeping.
It's coming soon.
Every day there's one less ticket.
Yes, every day there's one less ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tickets are flying off the shelves. So at least I assume. I actually don't know the
No, it's like orcs. We command it, so it will be.
Yeah, like I get updates infrequently about how ticket sales are going.
Yeah.
But tickets are going pretty quick, and it is the biggest event.
It's so worth it. I had so much fun last year. Yeah, it's a blast.
Mm-hmm. And that's the only place you get to meet. You get to meet Dillon, unless if you're on the West Coast, then you already know him, the legend, the gentleman he is.
Right back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, G? What do you got to shout out, homie?
You can find me on Instagram at wargaming_studios, where I will be posting the pictures of my finished Kasserkin team. Guys, it really did happen. It finally happened. They're done. The 10 initial models are done. And also, you can find us on our Discord. It's the Squad Games Discord. Links in the description. And I want to shout out our patrons. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Giving us a little more support, which helps us bring episodes like this.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we appreciate the people just listening to the episodes or hanging out with us on Discord. It's always awesome. And of course, we want to shout out our affiliates at Frontline Gaming. If you're looking to buy any secondhand new stuff or go to events, feel free to use the link in our description. We get a bit of a kickback, which also helps us bring more episodes like these to you guys. How about you, Dakota?
Again, I'd like to shout out our patrons. When you help us out with donating to Patreon, it really helps us try to make this more of a full-time commitment from everyone here at Squad Games. It's definitely a passion of ours, and we love doing it. So everyone who does do our Patreon, we really thank you. We really thank you all, and we're looking forward to making more and more content next year for everyone to hopefully enjoy.
It's definitely a labor of love, and it shows, guys. I know you're like neck deep in getting ready for LVO. I've seen it. So
yeah. My wife keeps making all those Instagram posts and the TikTok
They're
posts.
so good. Yeah.
Tabletop Mayhem. Shout out to Saya.
We need to get her on again.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
She's busy. She's busy watching the kiddo right now,
Boss lady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boss bitch, if you will.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what the kids use, right? I don't remember anymore.
Something like that.
All right. Stay jazzy.
Ooh.
Stay. Keep that dog in you. Let him go.
Ow.